Stop right now. Before you spend another old penny, before you toss another dirty coin into a jar, before you walk past what could literally be a silent fortune, listen to me. Today, we're exposing the top 5 most valuable ultra-rare Lincoln wheat cents that look ordinary but are worth serious money, and the scariest part, people are spending these coins every single day, and they have no idea. Do not spend these coins. These coins equal hidden wealth. Check your pocket now. Check your drawer. Check that old jar. These old coins are a treasure, and some tiny detail makes them rare in a way nobody talks about. Collectors are fighting for these. Real auction shock. Dirty old coins, that's where the big money hides. Stay with me, because every next coin is bigger, rarer, and more dangerous to ignore. And the last one? That one changes everything. Coin number 1. Let me tell you something scary. This coin looks like nothing. It looks like the kind of dirty old penny you'd throw on a table, or worse, spend without thinking. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Because if you ever see a 1934 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, especially one with dark, almost ugly black spots and that old, tired look, you might be staring at a silent fortune and not even feel it in your hand. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything. And what comes next in this video is even bigger. You have to understand what 1934 was. America was crawling out of disaster. The Great Depression had crushed people. Money was tight, hope was thin, and every single coin mattered. People weren't saving pennies, they were surviving on them. Coins were being used hard, passed fast, and destroyed without mercy. The mint was under pressure. The country was under pressure. And that stress shows up in the coins from this year in ways most people never notice. This is not fiction. This is exactly why some 1934 cents are completely ordinary, and a few are something else entirely. The Lincoln wheat penny design was already familiar by then, but in 1934 it carried a different weight. Lincoln's face isn't just a portrait here. It feels like it's watching a broken country trying to stand up again. The wheat ears on the back don't just represent grain, they represent survival. And this coin, when you hold it, it doesn't feel like much. It's small, thin, light, easy to ignore. That's the trap. It's just the size of every other penny, just the same simple copper feel in your fingers, but the presence of an original 1934 that's lived a real life is different. You can feel the age in it. You can feel the history in it. And if it has that dark, natural toning, those black spots that came from decades of honest aging, that's not damage. That's proof. Here's where it gets serious. Most of these coins did not survive in a way collectors care about. They were spent, scraped, cleaned, abused, and destroyed. People polished them. People washed them. People tried to make them look better. And in doing that, they killed their value forever. Never clean this coin. I'm warning you. Cleaning one of these is like setting fire to a winning lottery ticket. Original surfaces are everything. That dark, antique look, that uneven color, that slightly rough but honest skin on the coin. That's what collectors fight over. And the no mint mark part? That's not just a detail, that's a silent signature. It tells you where and how it was made. And for certain 1934 examples, it's exactly what separates a normal penny from a monster. Under the stress of that era, with huge production demands and worn equipment, small differences happened. Tiny details in the strike, in the surfaces, in the way the metal settled. Most people will never notice them. But collectors, they obsess over them. They look at the way Lincoln's face stands out, The way the wheat lines look, the way the fields around the design reflect light. One small difference can change everything. And here's the part that should honestly make you uncomfortable. This coin does not have to be perfect. In fact, a very fine, honestly circulated example with its original look is exactly what makes it believable, exactly what makes it rare. Survival is rare, not because they didn't make enough, but because almost none survived the right way. Most were either destroyed by time or ruined by human hands. When one of the right 1,934 no mint mark wheat cents shows up at auction, it's not loud. It's not flashy. It's quiet. Dealers lean in. Collectors don't talk much. But the bidding gets aggressive, fast. These people are not buying to flip. They're buying to hold. They know supply is shrinking. They know demand is rising. And they know that once a great one disappears into a private collection, it might not come back for decades. And this is the part that's going to hit you. One of these rare, correct original 1,934 wheat cents has reached around $386 zeroth. Read that again in your head. That is not pocket change. That is hidden wealth. That is silent fortune. That is life-changing money hiding in something people throw away every day. So hear me clearly. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean this coin. Do not try to make it look better. If you think you have one, get it looked at professionally, because grading is critical, and one small mistake can destroy everything. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Check the surfaces. Look for that honest, untouched, old skin. Patience is golden in this game, and rushing is how people lose fortunes. Stay till the end of this video, because if you think this one is shocking, the next coin is even rarer, even more valuable, and even more dangerous to ignore. The next one is the kind of coin that people spend without ever realizing they just lost a quiet fortune. Next up, need you to listen very carefully, because this is the kind of coin that ruins people's lives in the most painful way. Not because they lose it, but because they spend it without ever knowing what it was. A 1,935 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark and a strange, almost unbelievable sky blue tone on the reverse is not just rare, it's dangerous to ignore. This is not fiction. This is one of those silent fortunes that looks like nothing, feels like nothing, and then suddenly changes everything. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything, and what comes next, after this coin, is even bigger. 1935 was a strange year in America. The country was still fighting its way out of the shadow of the Great Depression. People were working again, but barely breathing. Every cent mattered. Every coin moved fast, from hand to hand. Nobody was saving wheat pennies. Nobody was protecting them. They were tools of survival. And that's exactly why coins from this year were abused, worn down, cleaned, and destroyed. The mint was under pressure to keep money flowing, and when that happens, strange things start to appear. Subtle differences, unexpected surfaces, coins that should not look the way they do. The Lincoln wheat design in 1935 looks familiar, but when you see one of these special examples, it feels different in your hand. It's still that small, thin, easy-to-ignore penny, light and simple, the kind you drop in a cup and forget. But when you tilt it under light and the reverse flashes that strange, natural sky blue tone, your brain almost refuses to accept it. It doesn't look painted. It doesn't look fake. It looks old, like something time itself touched in a rare way. That color comes from decades and decades of untouched aging, from chemistry, from storage, from pure accident. And here's the rule that can save or destroy a fortune: never clean this coin. Ever. That blue, that soft rainbow-like skin, that antique look, that is the treasure. The second someone tries to improve it, the value dies. This coin is made from the same humble metal as other pennies of its time. It feels the same weight in your fingers, the same thin edge, the same small size, but its presence is completely different. You can feel when a coin has lived a real life and survived honestly. Very fine condition here is not a weakness, it's a miracle. It means it circulated, it worked, it was used, and somehow it still kept what makes it special. The no mint mark is another quiet but deadly important detail. It tells a story about where and how it was made, and for certain 1,935 cents, that story lines up with rare surface behavior and unusual toning that collectors are obsessed with. They don't just look at the date. They look at Lincoln's cheek, the sharpness of his jaw, the way the wheat lines stand on the back, the way the fields reflect light around the design. One tiny difference in how the metal settled, one tiny difference in how the coin aged, can turn a normal penny into a monster. And here's the brutal truth. Almost none of these survived the right way. Most were spent into nothing. Others were cleaned by people who thought they were helping. Others were damaged, scratched, polished, or corroded. Original skin is everything. That soft, strange, beautiful, almost unbelievable color is proof of survival. Proof that this coin escaped 100 ways to be ruined. When one of these shows up in the collector world, it doesn't stay in public for long. The bidding is quiet, but it's vicious. Serious collectors don't joke about coins like this. They know how few exist. They know that once one disappears into a private collection, it might be gone for a generation. They are not selling. They are holding. And every year, supply gets smaller and demand gets more desperate. One of these rare 1,935 no mint mark, wheat cents with the right look and that incredible sky blue reverse, has reached around $350 zeroth. Let that sink in. That is not just money. That is silent fortune. That is hidden wealth. That is life-changing money hiding in something people throw away, lose in couch cushions, or spend on coffee every single day. So I'm warning you, do not spend this coin. Do not clean this coin. Do not try to fix it. If you ever see one, check the date, check the mint mark, and most of all, check the surfaces. If it looks strange, old, and beautifully different, that's not a problem, that's the sign. Get it professionally graded, because one wrong move can destroy everything. Patience is how fortunes survive. Rushing is how they die. And listen to me, if you think this one is shocking, the next coin is even rarer, even more valuable, and even more terrifying to ignore. The next one is the kind of coin that people spend without ever realizing they just threw away a quiet fortune. Stay with me. Next up, I'm going to tell you something that might honestly make you nervous the next time you see an old penny on the ground. Some of the most dangerous coins in America don't look shiny. They don't look pretty. They look dirty, tired, even ugly. And that's exactly how people lose fortunes. A 1,936 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark and those strange dark black dots on its surface is one of those coins. It looks like nothing. It feels like nothing. And that's why people spend it. This is not fiction. This is one of those silent fortunes hiding in plain sight. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything, and what comes next, after this coin, is even bigger. 1936 was a year when America was still trying to breathe again. The worst of the Depression had passed, but the scars were still everywhere. Money moved fast. People didn't save coins, they used them. Factories were busy, the mint was busy, and speed mattered more than perfection. When coins are made under pressure, strange things happen. Tiny surface issues, odd textures, unusual spots. Most of those coins were worn into nothing or destroyed over time. Almost none survived the right way. The Lincoln wheat design in 1936 is familiar, but when you hold one of these special examples, it feels different. It's still that small, thin, light penny, easy to ignore, easy to lose, easy to spend. Same simple copper feel, same modest size, same thin edge. But the moment you notice those black dots, those dark freckles that look like age itself settled into the metal, you're looking at something that shouldn't be dismissed. That isn't dirt. That isn't damage. That's decades and decades of natural aging, chemical reaction, storage conditions, and pure chance. And here's the rule that can save or destroy everything. Never clean this coin. Never. Those spots, that old skin, that uneven tone, that is the story. The second someone scrubs it, polishes it, or improves it, the value dies. This coin is made from the same humble metal as millions of others, and it weighs and feels just as unimportant in your hand. That's the trap. The thickness, the diameter, the whole physical presence is so ordinary that your brain refuses to believe it could be life-changing. But collectors don't see it that way. They see survival. They see originality. They see a coin that lived through nearly a century without being ruined by human hands. The no mint mark is another quiet but powerful clue. It tells you where it was made and under what conditions, and for certain 1,936 cents that lines up with rare surface behavior and unusual aging that collectors obsess over. They study Lincoln's face, the way his cheek and jaw catch light, the sharpness or softness of the details, the way the wheat ears stand on the back, the way the fields around the design look under magnification. One tiny difference in how the metal settled, one tiny difference in how the coin aged, can turn a common penny into something almost mythical. And the condition matters, but not the way most people think. Fine condition here is not a weakness. It means the coin worked for a living. It circulated. It was used. And somehow, against all odds, it kept its original surfaces. Most coins from this year didn't. They were either worn flat, damaged, or cleaned to death. Survival in honest, original skin is rare. That's why collectors pay insane attention to coins like this. When one of these shows up in the collector world, it doesn't cause noise. It causes silence. People lean in. Bidding is quiet but aggressive. Serious collectors don't play games with coins like this. They know how few exist. They know that once one disappears into a private collection, it might not come back for decades. They are not flipping these. They are locking them away. And every year, supply gets smaller while demand gets more desperate. One of these rare 1,936 no mint mark wheat cents with the right look and those natural black dots has reached around $335 hundredth. Let that hit you. That is not just money. That is hidden wealth. That is silent fortune. That is life-changing money hiding in something people drop, lose, or spend every single day without thinking. So listen to me carefully. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean this coin. Do not try to make it look better. If you ever find one, check the date, check the mint mark, and most of all, check the surfaces. If it looks old, strange, and honestly aged, that's not a problem. That's the sign. Get it professionally graded, because one wrong move can erase everything. Patience is how fortunes survive. Rushing is how they disappear. And if you think this one is scary, the next coin is even rarer, even more valuable, and even more dangerous to ignore. The next one is the kind of coin that can change everything in a single second. And most people would spend it without ever knowing what they just lost. Stay with me. Next up, this is one of those coins that can sit in front of you your entire life and you'd never realize you were looking at a fortune. I'm serious. A 1937 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, and that deep, beautiful black shade doesn't look rich. It looks old. It looks normal. It looks like something you'd spend without a second thought. And that's why it's so dangerous. This is not fiction. This is one of those silent fortunes that people are accidentally losing every single day. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything, and what comes next, after this coin, is even bigger. 1937 was a strange moment in American history. The country was standing up again, but still shaking. The economy wasn't stable, confidence wasn't stable, and people were still counting every cent. Coins were not collectibles. They were tools. They were used, abused, and passed around like they meant nothing. The mint was pushing out massive numbers of coins to keep money moving, and when that happens, quality control and perfect conditions are not the priority. Stress, speed, and worn equipment create coins with personalities. Most of those personalities were destroyed by time. A few survived in a way that today feels almost impossible. The Lincoln wheat design in 1937 is familiar, but when you see one of these special pieces, it hits differently. It's still that small, thin, light penny, the same simple copper feel in your fingers, the same modest size and thin edge. You could hold it and never guess what it's worth. But when you tilt it under light and see that deep, rich black shade across the surfaces, that smooth, old, almost elegant skin, you're looking at something time created, not a factory. That color isn't paint. It isn't dirt. It's decades and decades of natural aging, storage, air, and chemistry working together. And this is where people destroy fortunes. Never clean this coin. Never. That black, beautiful, antique look is not a flaw. It is the value. The second someone tries to scrub it, polish it, or brighten it up, the magic is gone. This coin is made from the same humble metal as millions of others. It weighs the same, feels the same, looks the same at first glance. That's the trap. The thickness, the diameter, the whole physical presence is so ordinary that your brain refuses to connect it to life-changing money. But collectors don't think like that. They look at originality. They look at skin. They look at whether a coin has survived nearly a century without being ruined by human hands. The no mint mark is another quiet but critical clue. It tells you where it was made and under what pressures, and for certain 1937 cents that lines up with rare surface behavior and beautiful, stable toning that collectors obsess over. They don't just check the date. They study Lincoln's face, the way the light rolls across his cheek and jaw, the way the wheat ears stand on the back, the way the fields around the design look. One tiny difference in strike, one tiny difference in metal flow, one tiny difference in aging, and suddenly you're not looking at a normal penny anymore. Fine condition here is not a weakness. It's part of the story. It means the coin lived. It circulated. It worked for a living. And somehow, it still kept its original, untouched surfaces. Most didn't. Most were worn flat, scratched, damaged, or cleaned into worthlessness. Survival with beauty is rare. Survival with originality is even rarer. When one of these shows up in the collector world, it doesn't create noise. It creates tension. The room gets quiet. The bids get serious. These people are not buying for fun. They know how few exist. They know supply is shrinking every year. They know that once one disappears into a long-term collection, it might not come back in their lifetime. They are not selling. They are holding. And one of these rare 1,937 no mint mark wheat cents with that beautiful black shade and the right original look has reached around $318. Zeroth. Let that sit in your head for a second. That is not just money. That is hidden wealth. That is silent fortune. That is life-changing money hiding in something people drop on the ground, throw in jars, or spend without thinking. So hear me clearly. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean this coin. Do not try to improve it. If you ever find one, check the date, check the mint mark, and most importantly, check the surfaces. If it looks old, dark, smooth, and beautifully original, that's not a problem. That's the sign. Get it professionally graded, because one careless move can erase everything. Patience is how fortunes survive. Rushing is how they disappear. And if you think this one is shocking, the next coin is even rarer, even more valuable, and even more dangerous to ignore. The next one is the kind of coin that can change your life in seconds. And most people would spend it without ever knowing what they just lost. Stay with me. Next up, this is the kind of coin that ends arguments, ends doubts, and ends normal life. Because once you understand what this is, you will never look at old pennies the same way again. A 1,939 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark and a strange little zinc dot is not just rare. It's dangerous to ignore. It looks normal. It feels normal. It spends normal. And that's why people are losing silent fortunes without ever knowing it. This is not fiction. Stay till the end, because this detail changes everything, and the way this video ends will change how you look at your pocket forever. 1,939 was not a calm year. The world was holding its breath. War had started in Europe, tension was everywhere, and even in America, you could feel that something big and dark was coming. The economy was still fragile, people were careful, and the government was already thinking about materials, resources, and production. Coins were still being made the old way, but pressure was building. The mint was working under stress. The country was shifting. And in times like that, strange things happen inside metal. The Lincoln wheat design in 1,939 is the same familiar face, the same wheat ears, the same simple look. And that's exactly why this coin is so terrifying. It's small, thin, light, easy to lose, easy to ignore. Same humble copper feel, same modest size, same thin edge. You could hold it and never imagine it could change your life. But then you see it. A tiny zinc dot. A strange little mark that doesn't belong there. Not damage. Not dirt. Something that got into the metal during the chaos of production and time. Something that shouldn't exist, but does. And here's the rule that saves or destroys everything. Never clean this coin. Ever. That tiny zinc dot, the original skin, the natural color, the untouched surfaces, that's the whole story. The second someone tries to scrub it, polish it, or fix it, the coin is dead. A fortune erased in seconds. This coin is made from the same basic metal as millions of others. It weighs the same, feels the same, looks the same at first glance. The thickness, the diameter, the whole physical presence is completely ordinary. That's the trap. That's why people spend them. But collectors don't see ordinary. They see anomalies. They see survival. They see history frozen inside metal. The no mint mark is another quiet but critical piece of the puzzle. It tells you where it was made and under what conditions, and for certain 1,939 cents, that lines up with rare production quirks and strange metal behavior. They study Lincoln's face, the sharpness of the details, the way the fields look around the design, the way the wheat ears stand on the back. And then they look at that dot, that one tiny detail that changes everything. Very fine condition here is not a weakness. It's proof of a real life. The coin circulated. It was used. It worked for a living. And somehow, against all odds, it survived with its original surfaces intact. Most didn't. Most were worn down, damaged, or cleaned into nothing. Survival with originality is rare. Survival with a unique feature like this is almost unreal. When one of these appears in the collector world, it doesn't get advertised loudly. It gets whispered about. The room gets quiet. The bidding gets serious. These are not casual buyers. These are people who understand that supply is shrinking, demand is rising, and once one of these disappears into a private collection, it might not come back for decades. They are not selling. They are holding. And one of these rare 1,939 no mint mark wheat cents with that zinc dot and the right original look has reached around $315. Zeroth. Let that hit you. That is not just money. That is hidden wealth. That is silent fortune. That is life-changing money hiding in something people drop in parking lots, throw in jars, or spend on snacks every single day. So I'm warning you for the last time in this video. Do not spend this coin. Do not clean this coin. Do not try to improve it. If you ever see one, check the date, check the mint mark, and look closely at the surfaces. Look for anything strange, anything that doesn't belong. If you think you've found something, get it professionally graded, because one careless move can erase everything. Patience is how fortunes survive. Rushing is how they die. And now listen to me, because this is where it all comes together. You just saw 5 coins that look ordinary. 5 coins people are spending every single day. 5 coins that together prove one terrifying truth. Hidden treasure is not buried in the ground. It's in your pocket. It's in your drawer. It's in that old jar of change. Do not spend these coins. These coins are hidden wealth. These old coins are a treasure. Dirty coins, that's where the big money hides. Rare coins equal big money, and nobody talks about this. Check your pocket now. Check your house. Check everything. Because somewhere out there, someone is holding a silent fortune and doesn't even know it. And if you think these were shocking, trust me, the next video is even more dangerous. The next list of coins makes these look small. The next one includes coins that collectors are literally fighting over right now. So don't go anywhere. Stay with US MintX. Subscribe, stay sharp, and remember, the biggest fortunes are the ones people accidentally spend.